Howdy! My actors, my auteurs, and my non-binary attorneys. It's me! How you doing, everybody? Hello, everybody. This is me. Greet. Hi. Today we're playing Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Justice for Justice. And I'm joined by the most actuarian. It's You're not here, are you? You're BRB, aren't you? That's what I thought. Well then, Mako will be back shortly as I get this game up and running. That sounds like Mako! Mako's on the way!
Are we live yet?
Yes!
How long?
It's been 30 years.
Okay, I'm 1 minute late.
It's been 30 years. It's been 1 week and a long to me. I need another you. Realize not the same way we do yesterday. You've forgiven me, but you me today. I'm sorry. You're gonna join down the 90 second. I'm gonna jump down and drop down.
Let's play Phoenix, right?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, Harrison Ford, Harrison Ford, Harrison Ford, Harrison Ford. This life ain't good enough.
This life ain't good enough. I said, why you lift me up and spend my life. You better suit your moon. Cause you're so cruel. See, this is why I'm not allowed to sing. You mentioned it last time.
It's just like the ocean under the moon. It's the same as the emotion that I get from Harrison Ford. Alright, is Francisco Von Karma gonna, like, crawl into the courtroom covered in bandages? Let's find out.
March 22nd, 2:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3.
Dude, I can't believe that Adrian... No way. Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews.
I can't wait for it to get us to get like transponded in the middle of the court being by the killer being like, hey, make this person also innocent or else I'm not letting Maya go even more.
The shot wants no. She'll look like that one guy from SpongeBob who like scammed them into buying chocolate carrying cases.
She was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning she breaks her legs. Every afternoon she breaks her arms. At night she lies awake in agony until her heart attacks put her to sleep. She's your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her.
So after the ceremony, during the break, I was sleeping like a log the entire time.
But like, again, there's still, like, obviously the knife might be a frame job here, but even if that's the case...
Who the fuck is bringing up Tails got trolled? Where did that come from?
Actually, that adds even more questions into this, because, like, the knife winding up in Kurita's chest is even weirder, because if Adrian Andrews did it, she had to have... if she was wearing the gloves when stabbing the body with that, as stated, there should be glove marks on the knife, but there aren't. There's just On Guard's fingerprints. But if On Guard stabbed them with the knife, then why was Adrian coming out of the room in costume? Like, it feels like there's something convoluted going on here, because the only person who could have put that knife into them would have been either somebody who was very careful with fingerprints, or it was On Guard himself. But why would On Guard stab a corpse if he wasn't the one who choked them? And if they're not the one who choked them, who choked them? Because the knife's not even the murder weapon. They are, according to the autopsy, they were choked to death. And this still doesn't explain the ketchup wine, the juice.
They call me the juice.
See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered bun on your hakama. But if you're wearing the outfit, how did she get the outfit?
Because she's the one that came to wake me up. Then, dude, you're saying it really was her?
It's definitely not her. Somebody else is in this. Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered.
Yeah, I never actually thought she would be the real one. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan.
She has her own agenda.
Her own agenda? What are you talking about? Well, yeah, Razor, I mean, pedophilia is one thing, but, like, alcohol, that's fucked up.
Okay, Razor, I need you to understand, alcohol is a sin, it will send you to hell, but the Bible's perfectly fine with you dating a minor. Anyways, I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. Also, we're not getting into the fucking clown trial again.
True.
It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today.
Get me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude?
Dude, Jesus had a blood alcohol content of 100%. It's fucked up. Look, think of it. The more wine I drink, the closer to Jesus I become. Refreshing like a spring breeze.
Phoenix.
This takes place in Japan.
You think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right?
Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impacts suddenly killed herself. Suddenly she left a suicide note, but the person thought to have hidden it
is Juan Kurita, the victim of this murder.
This takes place in the middle of Wisconsin. And that's why I think Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Kurita! All to get the suicide note back.
That sounds plausible.
Why would he still have the suicide note? If they had a reason to hide the suicide note, would they not have a reason to destroy the suicide note? If there was a suicide note from somebody and it said, I blame Creed for this, it's all Creed's fault, here's a list of every bad thing Creed's done, I'm eating that note. That note's not making it out of the room.
But one thing bothers me.
Lunacon, everybody off screen is currently wearing a cheese hat. You just don't notice it.
I love cheese.
You would, you white boy.
I'll have some later.
What?
Who was it that first told us about the relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impact's.
It was Edgeworth.
It looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet.
The 18-year-old is kidnapped, Razor! That was set up in the narrative! March 22nd, 2:25 p.m. District Court, Courtroom number 3.
What are we gonna do, not rely on a ghost for help with our useless-ass case?
Yeah!
Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please.
The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Miss Juan Corrida's room.
Why do you still have that?
What is your occupation?
Why did you bring that card to the trial?
I missed the running gag from the first game of people taking fucking forever to state their name and occupation and Edgeworth getting pissed.
I mean, we got that a little bit with Old Bag. I forgot that I'd void this character. I'm the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Nat on guard.
I see. Now then.
Before I begin, Your Honor, I have one request.
Yes, sure. What is it?
Go fuck yourself. Anyways. I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. What is up with that guy looking like a 60s Baron? Does he always dress like that? Better yet, why is that girl's tits all the way out? Is she allowed to be here? Who is she? Why is she dressed like that? There's a lot of questions I have before I start giving my testimony.
Man, that Virgin Killer sweater of hers is so tight it like completely hugs the like crease between her collarbone and her skin.
It's actually body paint. And would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently.
No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossip Land.
If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. At least you know he's honest.
Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim.
Yes, I was seeing Mr. Corrida. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. This was a private matter between Juan and myself.
So it was a fry and bait matter. Where was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing.
I go fishing. But I didn't kill him.
No one is accusing you of that.
I feel like we're explicitly accusing her of that. Like, we kind of brought her in on the grounds of accusing her of that.
Except for the defense who explicitly stated that they are indicting you for the murder of Juan Corrida.
Wait, am I the prosecutor now? Is Edgeworth the defense? I think there's someone who would beg to differ.
I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews.
Judge be like, oh, that's just the 9-year-old girl. She takes a lot after her dead cousin, Mia Fey, who was Wright's mentor. Her mother's in jail, so she's basically Phoenix's daughter or something. Yeah, why is she? Why are we just allowed to bring children into the courtroom as assistants?
Or the fucking murder crime scene.
I mean, anyone's allowed at a murder crime scene if they really believe in themselves.
Apparently.
You could just walk into them. Like, anyone wearing a high-vis jacket and a clipboard can get basically anywhere.
Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place.
Razor says, how is Wright allowed to basically have a 17-year-old in his office? Because you can hire a 17-year-old for a job? What? That's your weakest take yet. Like, you could just have a person staying there. You could have a roommate. If a person is able to, if you don't need to pay rent, you just have a person live at a place. They own the property, presumably. That's not a confusing thing. That's not even a take. Like, you're normally coming in with takes and whatnot. That's not a take. When I found the body. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. And there his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. And then drank none of it?
You poured yourself a glass of juice?
Yeah, she's a freeloader. She didn't have a job. Her job was basically assistant. She didn't have a family. Yes. Sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime. Yeah, she wanted to help out, so I guess, yeah, she was... We couldn't have won those trials without her. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing.
And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor.
Yes, but that doesn't explain why there was water on the guitar case. You sure moved only one thing?
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Phoenix. She is one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match.
Yeah, I know.
In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing.
Idiot says what?
Certainly getting crime scenes, Mako Gumshoe's job is supposedly at risk for a reason after. I mean, they never said that that's the reason, but I guess that would make sense.
Disrupt her pacing.
She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking.
She's just as girl boss as me, you gotta watch out.
So you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. Understand? No, Gumshoe is... Not only is Gumshoe not getting paid, his, like, severance package is being actively cut.
Yeah, they're cutting his pension. Okay, press... And what was Miss Strongard doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was sleeping in his uniform, which was really inconvenient since that kind of messes it up. It could probably break it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's something I would do.
People are loudly saying things in the other room. He was worn out from his mini performance as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. What? He was worn out from that tiny performance? Mr. On-Guard did say he was taking a nap. I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room. It could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? It's? What are you...
Right. I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence.
Oldbag is 20 years old. It says so.
It doesn't.
She said herself she stopped counting at 20.
I'll make one for you. Watch.
She said she stopped counting at 20, that means she stopped paying attention. Doesn't mean...
Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Ungod's knife from his room?
Old bag is in her 20s. She stopped counting after 20. That makes her in her 20s. That's how it works. Look at her bio. I will gladly look at her bio. See? She's in her 20s. No.
Subject, verb, object, right? Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue.
In the Japanese version of this, do you think they say object, verb, subject?
Probably.
Because sentences are constructed in a different order in Japanese.
Oh wait, no. The verb comes last.
So
I don't know.
Object, subject, verb.
I don't know what the difference between object and subject is. Just move on. I skip basic grammar.
Subject is the thing doing the thing. Object is the thing being done to.
I don't need to know this.
So like, I played game. I is the subject because it's the thing that's acting in the sentence, and game is the object because it's the thing being utilized by the verb.
But it's subject, object, verb.
Okay, subject, object, verb. Nailed it. Why did you do that? A friendly gesture. Pawn was to make an appearance with the other heroes.
Barely
The
past
show's-
English, don't rub it in. No offense, Tiger, but I can kind of tell.
The show is supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Press further. Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon. What are you implying? You had a certain growl in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim. Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time. You get her to talk about a strong piece of evidence, I guess.
May we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room?
God, hair is tangled. I'm gonna maybe get it cut next week, finally. It's been years.
You were in shock? What, was I not supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person, and despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings from Mr. Corrida.
Anyone who can be stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock.
Same.
You can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked.
Don't say that. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not.
I see.
Beauty. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the Targus was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course.
And then, what did you do next, witness?
Killed him. Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of ketchup wine on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left on the wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it.
Just a normal thing to do.
Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of you were in great shock? And that's when you poured yourself a glass of wine, correct? And what of it? Your Honor, she got bad vibes. My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Mine was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today?
It's actually a compliment.
I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What? One thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. I'm sorry, You're not allowed to do that on testimony, pal. You kind of have to say the thing, right? What was she starting to say just now? Yeah, press further. Miss Andrews, you can't do that! I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is, where's the caveman? What this mistake was.
Actually, so would I.
Your Honor, League of Legends. I'm sorry, it's kind of embarrassing. I might have made out with the corpse a little bit. It was just, you know, I saw the opportunity. It's not a big deal. we all have made mistakes in the heat of passion. It's just like Jimmy Neutron's dad, Hugh Neutron.
What? Did he kiss a corpse?
He says in one, I can't remember if it was the movie or one of the episodes, he says that he, like, sat on a banana and his life was never the same. It was forever changed. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Wait, so if you knocked over the flower vase, then why did they also knock over the makeup? Because did the makeup get knocked over, then the flower vase, and then the wine glass got put down on it at some point?
Doesn't necessarily make him bisexual, Luna.
You know what's causing it? You know what the flaw here is? If she knocked down the vase, Mako, what would have wound up on the floor?
What are you talking about? Oh, water.
Yeah, el agua. And if the water fell on the floor, what else would it have landed on?
Guitar.
The guitar case. But remember, they said there's only water on the outside of the case. But the case was open, according to what she said. If that was the case, water should have been inside the case, not outside of it. Meaning the case should have been closed when she went in there.
Damn, she's slaying in that pose.
I wasn't looking, but yeah. Mood.
Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo?
Yeah, see, the water is on the outside of the case and on the floor there. It's not inside the case, meaning if she knocked down the vase, the case needed to have been closed at the time.
This mess of glass shards.
Yeah, she definitely, like, took the guitar or something, I
But
guess.
why would she take the guitar? Unless they hid the suicide note inside the guitar's hollow. That way it was in a place where he could always keep track of it. It was originally on top of the dresser. But when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case.
Why did you withhold such an important piece of information?
James said, I gotta respect Ace Attorney for being as much of a logic puzzle game as it is a visual novel. Well, yeah, it's sort of its selling point. I'm glad it has a puzzle mechanic, because otherwise it would be not as interesting. I'm sorry, I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess.
Your edge is slipping into Judge. Is it, Avery?
We need to hear it again.
I'll read yeah.
It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. I was the one who knocked the flower vase over, where it fell into the guitar case. What kind of flower vase was it? What kind of question is that, Phoenix?
That's the relevant thing.
It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought I would try to take Quan's pulse, so I set the glass I was holding down on the dresser. And that's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. That's odd. I thought she was always in total control of herself.
That's what you would like people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality.
Yeah. Vitreous fluid. It doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradiction to the testimony just now.
I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to
keep her on the offensive and not let up.
The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence.
I have to find something. I just have to. For Maya's sake, and also the general idea of fighting in a court of law.
So I guess just present the guitar to that last one, maybe?
Yeah, because, empty. There's some water, but only on top of the lid.
Can Mia read his mind? It's not clear.
Nobody can read minds. You testified that you knocked over the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yeah? Why'd you say it like that? And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is this some sort of like lawyer trick? Are you trying to throw me off by is there a problem with what I said? It's not some problem, it's a major problem! Stop doing that. I'm sorry if I just do that with myself sometimes, chat. Or I just interact in character voices. I hope somebody finds it entertaining. It's true that the tops of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what's so strange. What's up, epic gamers? I see we're interrogating the space bounty hunter lesbian. Yeah. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that's true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. Man, she really is slaying. You don't see her like bottoms, but like the blue and the cyan, nice. It's kind of a fit, honestly.
That's very true.
Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case.
And what is that?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor.
And what is wrong with that?
Penro says, Kreb, I require your opinion on an interaction I had the other day. I'm down to be judge, jury, and executioner on your life choices. If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shard should have been inside, not outside the case!
What is your point, right?
Yeah, the judge and Edgeworth do not sound anything alike. The judge is way more like lower gravel, kind of like scratch to their voice, while Edgeworth has that nice like round overtop kind of voice. So like, oh.
I have genuinely no idea what Shek was talking about, yeah.
Razor says, I can't stand Old Bag, not gonna lie. Why? Old Bag's a based character. People these days hating on millennials. So fucked up.
I don't. Okay, shit. What? The year this game came out would not make her a millennial.
She's in her 20s!
That's not.
She's in her 20s!
But the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over. Was one instance? I don't know. Is that all?
No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else.
Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case.
I think that we could assume that she must have, in that case, been a, 20s in the aughts would make her...
Gen X?
Yeah, she'd probably be a Gen X. Is she the silent generation?
But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all.
That may very well be. However... the guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? Yeah, this game takes place in the... this game takes place in the future, despite its release being in the early aughts.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because it says, basically, it's in the future that they started making trials go a lot faster because of how many cases there were. So it is set in the future. It's set in 2017, apparently.
Oh, that's weird.
So if she's in her 20s in 2017, I think that would put her in the millennial range. Because, yeah, if she was 20 at 2017, that means that she was... the smallest would have been born in 1997. Oldest would be 1987. I would say, since she stopped counting at 20, presumably it's been a bit since she hit 20, it would lean to the farther end of that, and so she's probably a millennial for certain. Oldback is in her 20s, Razor! I don't know what part of this you're not getting! It says it in the game! The empty guitar case seems...
Some people's ideas of video games are like Madden NFL, and that's literally it.
Oh, wait, Penrose has stated their interaction. Okay, so there was a door-to-door salesman for Xfinity in my neighborhood peddling their wares, as they are off to do. And to try to connect with me, an obvious gamer, they asked me what games I played. I answered TF2, which I received a perplexed look from them. I also then stated Ultra Kill, which got confusion. I claimed it was similar to Quake, to which they had a vague notion. They responded with, I like Fortnite. So, are my tastes just super niche, or did I stumble upon some poser? You stumbled upon a poser!
Actually, the answer to both of those questions is yes, kind of. At this point, TF2 is niche.
I don't know, I feel like, well, not as many people, play TF2, knowledgeably. I see so many things of people reacting to it for the first time. I feel like people understand it exists.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's not like people forget about its existence. Like, it used to be super popular, and I guess it kind of still is.
TF2's not niche. It was the grandfather of the team of the class shooter. It's the grandfather of the objective-based gameplay. It invented the payload game mode as a design. It founded loot boxes. TF2.
I don't think.
What?
I don't think Ultra Kill is that well known, Penrose. It's like an indie game.
Ultra Kill is very much liked and known in the gamer community. It's not breach containment as far as I can tell. It's not a thing people readily know about because of how much of an indie game it is. That's always the issue with single player titles, is that they have a harder time getting popularity if they're not AAA. So even if they're known, they're not super known. Obviously there's been exceptions. Undertale, breach containment pretty well, despite being a single player game, due to a lot of factors. But overall, people outside of gaming circles are more likely to know a multiplayer game because you're more likely to say, I'm playing a multiplayer game, or I'm playing a multiplayer game with my friends, than you are to describe, I'm playing a single player game, because the amount of time you spend on a single player game is much smaller. Unless you're playing, some big investment game.
Most people look cishet.
Seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Knight, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case?
Yes, we need. She lied on the stand. We need her to
Probably
testify
important.
to it. The empty guitar case is the linchpin to the entire. I believe is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Yeah.
I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you.
I mean, look, if Edward, you've seen me in court before. You know I grasp at straws, and those straws bring the entire pig house down. You know it. You know it. Can't believe I'm doing this either. Phoenix, you brought a parrot onto this stand.
Why can't we say straight like the good old days? Because cishet is faster to say than like.
It's in fact not.
Well,
Cishet is 2 syllables, straight's 1.
yeah, well, cis straight just feels, I don't know, it feels weird. Like because I think it's because cisgender and heterosexual are both technical terms, whereas straight is more slang. So you abbreviate both of the technical terms to be cishet rather than using one technical term and one slang.
Yeah, that's fair, but also, like, straight refers to just orientation, while a cishet refers to a specific, like, combination.
Alright, follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case.
Yes, Your Honor. I touched the guitar case. That's it. Bye. The guitar case. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed, on account of, you know, there being a dead body there. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. I don't know why I did that, I will not explain. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all.
Why the fuck did you do that?
As for why I opened the case, even I don't know.
I believe you.
Looks like this really wasn't a very important point. I'm fucking stupid.
I identify with the gender other people were assigned at birth. As a power move. I'm whatever gender the person I'm talking to is. I do it better than them.
Gotta relate to your conversational partner.
Person who just assumes the gender and also name of whoever they're talking to just to outclass them. I don't know why, that idea really entertains me.
This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by that, but... Okay, so yeah, this is the one time where Edgeworth has been acting, like, kind of against us in a way that does not feel like he's entirely on our side, which is kind of weird. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting.
Anyway, I'll go ahead and start the cross-examination.
Using any way to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man.
I'm the defending attorney! It's my job to focus on topic and not deal with your rash insults at my personage!
Why is he being so much more of an asshole after the 10-minute reset?
Razor Crossing, I didn't want to just... I'm a they them. Don't go spreading that around. I don't want the fuzz to find out. During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind? No. I said multiple times in the testimony that I don't remember. What part of that makes it seem like, yeah, I was absolutely certain I did not know? Well, you see... Are you sure you're the one who opened the guitar case?
She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not.
Sounds like her dependent side is taking over.
Well, Miss Andrews?
Yes, it was me. Yeah, so either... Because, like, she's saying that she does not know why she opened the guitar case. I think that she really doesn't know, because she didn't open the guitar case. She probably wasn't the one who knocked over the vase. She's trying to cover for somebody. So, you open the guitar case then? Yes, well, maybe. Why'd you open the guitar case? Huh? Senor Corda! Dad's body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I think the first thing you do at first call for help, not open a guitar case.
As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed.
They'll settle in the bedroom after the case back out. Right, we'll get to pick the movie they watch while cuddling. Creed threw their gender into a volcano like the One Ring to rule them all. Yeah, I gotta be thrown into the place where it was forged. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But, getting back on topic... Not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside.
How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? How
Here.
little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio.
Yeah, but she didn't know that, or did she, Edgeworth? I wanted her response. It's called setting somebody up.
These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention.
Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright.
Sorry. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try.
Come on, Phoenix. We can't afford to let up on her now.
Wasn't planning on letting up, but...
She's at her weakest now, so this is our chance.
yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with...
I'm sure a weapon was hiding somewhere in the court record, waiting to be found.
Okay. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. Probably not something we could argue against. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It would make sense that the guitar case got opened after the case, but... she said it looked exactly as like the picture. Which is the one issue. Not a big deal though, the case was empty after all. Was the case empty? It says that it only has Karita's fingerprints. If she opened it, her fingerprints would have been on it.
Oh, true. So... that one.
There is no way you were the one who opened the guitar case, you dumb bitch! I'm sorry. Why are chat talking about Adrian Andrews', like, bedroom position? She can't be dominant, but time doesn't require that submissive top. She's a pillow princess. Adrian Andrews has, like, Mako vibes in some ways, I guess.
I'm not insecure.
I know, not that. That's why I said in some ways. In the
I also don't do anything in the bedroom.
I'm sorry. What part of in some way? Do you know the difference between a simile and a metaphor, Muck?
Okay, but then what ways are left?
Having a more like dominant, forthright attitude in most social situations, but in more of interpersonal, private situations, having a more submissive demeanor.
I don't think that's me.
In some way.
Avery, the entire time you have known me, have I been have I been submissive in our friendship?
I think you've been a bottom.
I am constantly like getting on your ass about all the things you're supposed to be doing, and like
You're
Like,
allowed to be both dominant and a bottom. That's not an incorrect thing to do. Things to be.
What does it mean to be a bottom in a platonic sense?
I don't know.
Then why are you saying it?
I'm just saying that you gave me similar vibes to Adrian Andrews. I didn't think too hard on it. I sometimes just say things. I'm a streamer.
I also heard that, Faf. Well, then don't get upset when I tell you that what you say makes no sense.
Is Pearl just in a dark space? Yeah, Pearl's basically shunted out of her body. That's how the spirit channeling works. Okay, anyways. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear! Fun fact, at no point in Sherlock Holmes did he ever say it's elementary, my dear Watson.
Oh.
That is a misnomer. Just like Luke, I am your father is never said as a quote sentence, and certain other things. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are from those of the victim.
Which definitely raises some questions.
What is it, Miss Andrews?
You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I were wearing gloves at the time?
Gloves? Why would you be wearing gloves at the time?
Because I was wearing the Nickel Samurai uniform. It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. Mom was sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime.
That's strange, because we know she left fingerprints on the fucking wine glass. You were wearing gloves? Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that could prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? The wine glass!
Yeah.
I have your proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Haha. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange? That you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case?
I still have wine. Her glasses...
Glasses came off.
I thought they shattered. Like, it sounded like they exploded.
Did they explode? I wasn't looking.
Well, she has them again, but like there was a sound effect that made it sound like they exploded.
Order! Order! Order!
I would like a virgin rum and coke.
Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time.
We really set that nail, didn't we? What do you mean?
I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here.
But it's just an empty case.
I wonder if it really was empty, though.
But the guitar, the bright guitar was at the studio.
Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions.
Yeah, like Phoenix, you don't need to assume like you can just assume that there was something else in the case. Why would he forget the guitar but not the guitar case? The weight would be completely off. Clearly he was carrying something that he wanted to keep close to him.
What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar.
You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either.
Oh my god.
I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that.
Razor says it's actually sad. I looked up the line Basil Rathbone. Who is Basil Rathbone? Let's do the thing. How are you?
That's the name of Basil Omori's barbarian character in D&D.
Since many other adaptations use that line, even things that use the property use that line. Well, yeah, it's the people misattribute a line to something and then associate that line with that character. So, like, a lot of media that uses Sherlock has Sherlock saying, "It's elementary, my dear Watson," but I'm quite certain in the actual Arthur Conan Doyle versions of Sherlock Holmes, he never actually says that line specifically. And, like, it's just like what I said about, like, Darth Vader never says, "Luke, I am your father." It's because he says, "No, I am your father." It doesn't say the Luke part, but people always assume Luke is the first word in that sentence, but it's not. I should make another category in a future Creed Pretty like the Audiophilalia one, but it's quotes that people get wrong.
So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case...
Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work.
Your Honor? Nuh-uh.
Steer the court towards an unrelated topic, lull us all into his misguided...
Edgeworth, shut the fuck up! No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to the murders. Okay, so... what is the waiting music you use in Creed Pretty? Which one? There's the overarching Creed Pretty theme called Creed Pretty. There's the one that plays during, Creedly Crubbles in Final Creed Pretty, which is called, Thonk, I believe I called it Thonk. And, then there's the one that plays during Kurlos Enough, which is just called Kurlos.
Yeah, they commissioned me to make them for them.
No, I didn't!
Remember when people kept assuming I made your model?
Yeah, don't try to steal credit for my hard work, you son of a fuck.
I'm joking.
I know, but people might believe you! Yeah, I made those songs myself. I'm a Renaissance Creed. I like to do a little bit of everything. They're not that good, but I think I did an alright one getting a sort of thinky regal theme. Are those uploaded somewhere? Yes, during Creed Pretty. I guess I could at some point upload them? Maybe? But like, I don't know. Creed getting gaslit and girl bossed. I don't think that's either of the words that apply here. What else do you say? Did I explode my head if I was a kiss? Okay. The Creedazance. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder.
Well, Jaden completely botched the spelling of that word. If you are so sure, right?
You know, this does add some questions in this case. Like, because now the question is, when did the vase get knocked over? Because if she did, like, she didn't need to claim she knocked over the vase, but she stated that she knocked over the vase, implying that she knocked over the vase. It'd be weird for her to add that detail, because, like, we knew there was some sort of struggle already going that went on in there, presumably. But, so, why would she have to reveal that she lied about knocking over the vase? You know what I mean? So, if that part of her statement is true, then water must have landed on the outside of the guitar case, meaning the guitar case was closed. But if the guitar case then got opened, who opened the case? Because the case would have had to have been opened after she had left the room. And the only fingerprints on it are the victim's, and the victim was presumably already dead at that point. So the options are either it was Juan Carita who opened the case after he was presumably already dead, so he must have not have been dead yet, which is its own weird confusion, or somebody wearing gloves, presumably whoever was wearing the Nickel Samurai costume was the one who did it. But What? Go on.
Sorry, I was just thinking about the sandwich I'm gonna eat later the entire time you were saying that, but it's okay, I don't need to know.
Okay, as I was saying, so somebody had to have opened the case at some point after the vase fell, and the only options there is whoever's wearing the nickel samurai outfit.
Thinking about cheese.
But the odd thing there is that if it was Adrian Andrews, that would imply that she entered the room with her fingerprinted wine glass, and made the fingerprinted wine glass while in there, then left the room, got the costume, and then came back into the room to do it. But if that's not the case, then who's wearing the uniform? Because their only other real suspect at the moment was On Guard, who we know could not have done it because otherwise it would have fit correctly. We know at the very least the outfit does not fit the person correctly. So who was wearing the uniform?
And I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why the guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder.
They should have a samurai for every medal. I can't wait for the sodium samurai explodes whenever it rains.
Can you do that, Mr. Wright?
No, I can't. Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case.
The bright red guitar not being the only thing?
That is what he just said.
You don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar would...
Why are we all idiots?
You intend to push your theory that the case was not empty? Is that it, right? Bright black.
I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. I might not be able to prove it now, but I intend to prove it at some point.
Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder?
Do we have evidence that it could show, like, the note, potentially?
I just thought it was beautiful. The plutonium samurai sounds really awesome. Uranium samurai would be a horror show. Those are valid. Radioactive. Okay, let's see. Badge, Magatama, nickel samurai.
Probably not that.
Probably not that. The note, transceiver, camera, magazine, hotel guide map, guitar case, the wine glass,
Another guitar case.
crime photo.
Oh man, I haven't had caramel popcorn in a while either. That shit's so good. I don't even normally like caramel that much, but popcorn, let's go.
The suicide note would make some sense.
Yeah, it's like...
It's the only thing we would think is hidden,
work?
and that would motivate somebody to look for it. But we already know she could not have opened the window when they opened the case, which makes this a little confusing. It's only one pip, so I think we just send it and hope for the best.
Yeah. And why would something like that be inside a guitar case, let alone this one?
Why, Mr. Wright? Why?
Well, I just thought it might have been possible.
I have a suggestion. Why don't you put that in the void where your brain is supposed to be?
Kind of a dick, aren't ya?
Yes, and never bring it out again.
Why? Everyone's so hating me. Can't a foolishly foolish fool get some love? Aw.
You still think you can prove your theory? Can you prove that the guitar case was not empty at the time of the murder? Well, I don't know.
Okay. Let's try and think. Let's take a step back here.
Who could have even opened the case? To retrieve it is the question. What if the vase was knocked over before he was murdered? Then he opened the guitar case.
Okay.
You know?
So
What if that's the event's timeline?
let's think. He got stabbed at some point and murdered. She enters the room and then causes the knockover of the spill and whatnot. The case was at some point opened.
Maybe there was something inside it that pissed her off enough to kill him.
But they would have already been dead, presumably, at that point, because the vase got knocked over before the case was opened.
Yeah, I'm saying, he's still alive, the vase gets knocked over in the guitar case, then he opens it, and then he gets killed. Isn't that the only way that makes sense?
Assuming that he's the one who opened it.
Yeah, but it's only his fingerprints, and it wouldn't make sense for her to have gloves on.
Unless somebody
from the glass.
Unless somebody wearing gloves is the one who opened it. Oh! Okay, I have a weird thought. Okay. So, this one's gonna be weird. On guard, or whoever, is wearing the Nickel Samurai costume. He enters into this room with Juan. They commit the murder, and then they open up the case, put the all their stuff stuff inside to like hide that it was them, and then scamper away. Then Adrian comes in, finds in the case the Nickel Samurai uniform. After, finding the body, puts it on, and is the one who's leaving the room like this.
So you want to send the outfit itself? Like, was it actually that first photo that I said? Probably wasn't it?
It might, if that's that is the Nickel Samurai. Like, it could be the uniform, because if, like, the only person we know who is short is Adrian Andrews, and we assume that's her leaving the room. So if she's wearing the uniform when leaving, despite having left fingerprints in that room, clearly she must have acquired the outfit at some point between being in that room and leaving that room, which would mean that it might have been what was in the case. Like, I don't know why it was left in the case just yet. Like, I'm still not on that step of my logic, but it's an option.
Yes! This is a photograph.
Look at this photograph! Yes, but what's important is what's in that picture, Your Honor.
In this picture?
Faf says, I know gender roles don't matter, but isn't Adrian more of a boy's name? No, Adrian is a gender-neutral name. It might lean more one way or another depending on, like, your, like, location, but it is in general a pretty gender-neutral name. Doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is... inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume.
What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Right. Are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that?
That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she can make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews?
I refuse to accept your theory.
I also refuse to accept this theory because it's dumb, but also it's the truth, I guess.
Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea?
Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop of truth. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct?
You mean this photo? Order! Order! It looks like
Hot
we've
toddy.
wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we?
Nice job, Phoenix.
I'm really just winging it here, Mia. I'm sorry. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. Story my goddamn life, Phoenix.
So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume.
No!
Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt on guards.
You know, it's kind of funny that, like, one of the characters in this has the initials AA, which is, you know, Ace Attorney, and another person is the Nickel Samurai, and Nick is the name of the protagonist of this. It's kind of funny.
Why would something in the defendants be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places?
I don't know, Edgeworth!
True. It is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case?
It could not have been stolen from On Guard because we know On Guard was wearing his while he was asleep, so it was a spare.
Yeah.
Mr. On Guard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we were talking about was a spare one.
What?
Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder,
He didn't... Remember, he didn't know about it! He didn't realize, like, know that he was, that was a thing that he was gonna be, he was, like, confused that when we were talking about it.
What?
He wasn't really aware that there was going to be a post-ceremony thing where he was going to confess something. The reason the Juan Carita had the costume in his case was he was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and confess something as Matt on guard that would expose something. I haven't figured that part out yet. He was going to do that, but he got murdered before he managed to actually pull it off. That's why the costume was inside the case, and why Matt did not seem to really know about that he was supposed to confess something. He seemed unaware of that. It probably also explained why he was so tired, why he took a nap afterwards. He might have been drugged during the ceremony and made to fall asleep, which is why he was asleep during the entire events. He was being set up beyond setup. But this just adds the more complicated question of, like, why would somebody go through the effort of Juan Carita wanting to go and get Matt on guard framed for something, only to be murdered by someone else who also tries to frame Matt on guard for it because of the knife? Why are two different groups trying to frame Matt on guard for things?
Oh god, I want some pepper jack.
You are the whitest person I know.
there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel?
If I had a nickel for every samurai in Ace Attorney, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't much, but it's kind of weird to happen twice. Shut up.
Abe, attorney.
Abe Attorney. 17 years ago. Yes, that is what I'm saying.
And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case?
It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose.
But why? The victim, Mr. Kurita, was the Jamin ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act?
And therein lies the sticking point.
What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue?
I have no internal monologue. I thought I was thinking things before whenever they're in parentheses, but apparently I'm just saying those things very quietly to myself and other people respond to them sometimes. It's really weird. Quick, Mako, how much is 4 score?
I don't know. 20 years? I don't fucking know.
Well, you're right that his score is 20, so 4 score would be 80. No, I just,
Mr. 8, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume?
Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you.
Me gusta? Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai spare costume to the hotel was the press conference ticket.
What is this?
On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai is going to hold a special press conference.
A press conference?
Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference.
I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up right.
What struck me as strange was that Mr. On Guard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night.
But how can that be?
The way I see it, that can only mean one thing. The conference was a setup. By none other than the victim, Senor himself.
The victim?
I wonder how much Discord cuts me out when I do that. Do you get that pretty
Almost
clearly?
completely.
Awesome. Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Senor was going to hold a press conference as the Nickel Samurai.
He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing?
Whenever I see "but why," I can only ever think of the one line from The Heavy is Dead, where he's like, "But why?" I don't know why, that's just what I think of. Fab says, we all hear the vaguely racist-ish Juan Kurita. It's not racist, it's just improperly pronounced. That's something I don't quite know yet, however. What I'm concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference.
The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something.
I need to find a hair tie. I need to tie up my hair or something. It's getting warm.
And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself.
Which means that...
Literally all I heard that time was...
posing as the Nickel Samurai. I was going to speak about Matt On Guard.
Yes, I guess that is what it would mean.
But if that's the case... That's not a confession, that's public disclosure.
Miss Andrews?
I can see why you're pros at what you do.
Pardon me?
Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan.
Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this.
I am pretty professional, aren't I? I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me.
You?
Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway.
He was going to ruin him, huh?
Chuck says, I had a weird dream last night. Creed had a close webcam, and they look completely different. Oh no. Webcam Creed sounds horrifying. It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What?
And do you know what this secret of Mr. Angard's is, Miss Andrews?
Well played, Doctor. The donation bar button is right there.
Yeah, you can donate $6.66 and I will be forced to depict art on stream that everyone will hate it. That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is.
They look like Weird Al from the Fat music video.
Ah, I see.
Your butt is wide, well, mine is too. Better watch your mouth, or I'll sit on you. The word is out, better treat me right, 'cause I'm the king of cellulite. Ham on, ham and whole wheat, that's right. Bum 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 bum. My buttons bust, my buckles break. I'm too much man for you to take. The pavement cracks when I fall down. I've got more chins than Chinatown. Yeah, I never used a phone booth, and I've never seen my toes. When I'm going to the movies, I take up 7 rows because I'm fair, I'm fair, I'm on. I like that song. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. What is this fetish song? It's not a fetish song, it's a comedy song!
It was made back in the days where, like, being fat was a punchline.
Hey, but it's about being very confidently fat.
Fair.
But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all. Protect Mr. On Guard?
And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems.
Notice that she called him Matt. As I went back before the trial started, she stated, like, she does not care much about Matt On Guard the person, she just cares about Mr. On Guard the actor. But she referred to him as Matt in that case.
Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Protecting Matt. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan, no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. Wait, the button too?
This does account for everything.
Well, I am the logical type. But wait, like, if you knew that the knife and the button were, like, setting them up, why didn't you remove the knife? Or that would have, like, guided them to that? Why wouldn't you, like, remove the... Like, why would the button wind up in Matt On Guard's Hakama when he was investigated? That just led them back to him. If you knew the button was missing, why didn't you get the button? Lenore says that cannot be right for the exact reason Creed mentioned. What?
We're finally seeing her true self. She is more nervous than a scared rabbit.
If the defense can find no fault with his testimony, I am ready to make a ruling.
And I'll have you know, chat, I'm an expert on buttons, as you could tell by the fact there are many buttons on the stream. My spoilers, Creed 2.0 will have more button. Yeah. There's a little teaser for you.
Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine, Mr. Wright.
Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. Which means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. Would you say that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things? Mako, what are the 3 things to prove that somebody would do a murder?
Evidence, motive, and... Why can't I remember? I don't know, I give up.
You gotta have the motive, the means, and the method. You gotta have
Is method not the same as means?
the means is they needed to have the time and place to be able to go and do it. The motive is a reason to do it, and the method is evidence to show that they would have done it. This actual means to the actual way to go about it. I believe there's another acronym.
Lack of an alibi.
Yeah. A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. Yeah. If you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear.
You should have already learned that, Phoenix.
They didn't teach that to us in school. I didn't even go to school, I'm gonna be honest. I just showed up and claimed I was a lawyer, and you just sort of took me in. I showed you, a crayon drawing, of me as a lawyer, and you just yeah. Not from what I remember. Me and looking at it, I was like, why did I hire you? Can I continue now so you could stop talking to the Miss Boob window over there? Why is she here? Who is she? It's very distracting. As a raging lesbian, I'm very distracted right now. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. So would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes. Do you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt on guard. Because yeah, that would be the time where a ton of big Matt fans would be there, and also gives them all, suddenly, there's an opportunity for the Matt fans to go see Matt talk about something. So it would have gone it the most possible. And also that he was just given an award.
And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews?
Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? Anyway, the important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony.
Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony, if you please.
Grasping at straws now, are you, Mr. Wright? I've been grasping at straws since I stepped into this room. Phoenix is the kind of guy to skip law school and learn everything off improv. Yeah. I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped with his press conference. That event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out.
The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, right? But the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan. is none of our concern.
I feel like it's vaguely our concern. I feel like accomplice to murder, in some ways, makes it, relevant.
In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill.
Why do I keep doing this to myself? Didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? You're telling me now that that too was a lie so you can cover Mr. On Guard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. I'm barely telling you information as is. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time.
I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom, however.
Judge is glaring straight at Mia. Why? Why are you looking at Mia?
He's glaring at you, smart guy.
Look, I'm pretty sure half this room is glaring at you for some reasons. I can think of two. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the bond and the knife.
Mia needs a shirt that says "My Phoenix is over here."
Can we just carry around like an extra large t-shirt, souvenir t-shirt to just hand to whoever Mia is taking control of? Just being like, you're gonna cause issues, please wear this.
It's like an XXXL tie-dye men's shirt.
We give it to her, she promptly tears the collar just to continue to show cleavage. Because she's just styled like that. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints of the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then what about the button? Carrying around a Snuggie! It's wearing a Snuggie for the entire trial! The button? Clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the gem in Ninja's costume.
You're talking about this button, correct?
That button was found in the pleats of Matt's hakama, isn't that correct? I think that makes it decisive evidence.
Looks like you are outfoxed again, Mr. Wright.
But why wouldn't you have tried to locate the button or remove it? Again, maybe there wasn't time. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me.
What an icy stare, yes.
Mia can accept staring at a man who can't accept defeat.
Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony.
And how do you know that? When the ends of the threads on the button and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly. Or so I heard. Heard that before too. Why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such fine detail? Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you are not. I thought I had her this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here. But where and what? What you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time.
Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it?
This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. On Guard at any time. Why then would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Senor planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Miss Strongard as much damage as she possibly could. The witness bears ill will toward the defendant.
This isn't the Phoenix Wright Wax Philosophical Power Hour.
I wish it was the Phoenix Wright Wax's Philosophical Power Hour.
And please, stop slandering the witness.
As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid.
Really? Because to me, it sounded a little wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if I press a little more.
You should know this by now. But you'll need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk.
Got it, Chief! I'm gonna pin you down this time, Miss Ant. Don't say that. Okay. So, 2 things got added when we pressed. The button was torn off the outfit. And I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. Do we have anything to assume what the motive was?
I'm still thinking about cheese. I don't know.
Midnight Round of a superstar and ultra-hot mega-secret love scandal. Reliable sources said that Juan Carita has been getting in close with a mysteriously beautiful manager to the stars, Miss AA. That could be seen as a motive. Yeah, we got a failed. Okay, let's think about this. This was one of the things added.
What is this song's time signature? I've been trying to pin it down. This is so weird.
From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. I know that his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. He didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. He was torn off Juan during his fight with Matt. His managers have put there to protect him. Attorney's badge, Magama, glossy photo.
Okay, it's essentially 3/4 time, but it's like it's weird the way it lines up with the beat.
Press conference ticket. Radio transceiver. Lada's camera. The gossip article was not it. Hotel guide map. Empty guitar case. Wine glass. Crime photo.
Avery, why does my body feel like it has just a biological requirement that I eat cheese at least once a day?
Cause you're white!
I don't know what it is, I can't go without it.
Like, you could transfix any white person with a piece of cheese, they will be on board.
We need to watch Boondocks one day. This is literally like a plot line in it. Or at least one episode.
Was ripped from his costume and is covered in creative blood from Takama.
Jaden, I promise you I already have enough dairy just from the amount of milk I drink.
Hidden. September 8 Anderson.
But it's the gut germs. I got little guys inside me that are manipulating me. I have a huge skeleton. It's 6 feet tall.
This was a tricky one.
I've not even been trying, I'm gonna be honest.
I know, you're thinking about cheese. Do you need to go get
I am
cheese? Do you need to go get up and go get some cheese?
I want to make a sandwich, but I don't want to make you wait 20 minutes.
Go, Mako, get a sandwich.
Are you sure? Are you
Right,
sure? Okay.
go get a fucking sandwich.
You're telling me to. All right.
Yeah, go. Cheese. All right. Well, Mako's getting a sandwich. From the moment we're gonna suss this out. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Moret was murdered. There's no actual claim in this one, so we cannot argue against it. I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. We can present something, I guess, here to be like, the motive was this, which is what I was trying to do, but I can't think of another thing to put here. So, that's a possibility. He didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. We can't deny that, because we know he doesn't have an alibi, otherwise we would know that it wasn't him. That bun was torn off during the fight with Matt is a possibility thing we could argue against, because that is a clear statement. That's my so I felt the need I had to protect him. This is, again, a thing we can't really argue. So, it's either the other one or this one. We already tried the other one, so let's think about this one. Can we prove that the button was not torn off Juan during his fight with Matt? Can we prove there wasn't a fight with Matt? He was strangled to death. We assume that there was a fight because of how many things were knocked over, but if the vase was knocked over post-mortem onto the case, then what we assumed was a big fight was not as big as we thought it was. Like, the makeup and stuff got knocked over as well, but, like, maybe that got knocked over at the same time that she knocked over the vase. There might not have been a fight, because they might have just been strangled. We cannot prove that there was a fight, because the only reason we think that there's a fight is because the bun got removed, and the knife in the chest. But as we know, the knife was post-mortem, and used as a setup. And the bun could have been just as easily also a setup. Oh, I put then the wrong thing. I meant to present the fucking autopsy report. I'm an idiot. Yeah, not that one. The autopsy report. There we go! Hell yeah. I'm a gamer. Okay, while Mako's doing that, I guess I gotta entertain you people somehow. Okay, let's think. How can I entertain you people? What do you people even like? Jingle some keys. Okay, we're gonna play a couple little game. We're gonna play some Wordle. We're gonna play a little bit of Wordle. Okay, I always go with this word first because it has the most letters that are common in it. Okay? Didn't get any of them. So, we go to the next word. Contains a lot of vowels, contains N and R, the other ones that are common. Okay, we got something to go off of. Pylon. Okay, we're getting there. It ends in an N. And it does not have a vowel before it, which is interesting. What could go there? It can be OWN, so it could be something something OWN, so known? Yeah! Ra-da-da-da-da-da. Skibidi-ba-ba-ba-da. Skibidi-bip-bip-bip-ba. I did it. I won it. Mini crossword. Play with an account. Beware the Ides of March. Send a message. Texts. Pond scum. Algae. Teeny tiny bit. An iota. A doctor who might be planning to call the doctor a vet. That was easy. That was boring. Can you do Wordle variants you have no clues about? Letterl. Okay. Letterl. I'm thinking H. J. S. I'm a god. I'm a gamer. I'm the best. Get wrecked. Okay. Bandly? Bandle. Okay. Do band. So, guess the song being played by the band. Released in 1991, 95 million YouTube views, the easy part 2. Okay, so that's the drum bass. It has an electric guitar, a synth, strings, voice cover, and backing vocals. I have no idea. Interesting. Still don't have anything. Give me the synth. Nope, nothing's coming to mind. You chose the wrong person to do this because I am terrible at audio. I cannot recognize audio at all. This is completely lost on me. Give me the strings. It sounds vaguely familiar now, but it's still not coming to me. Okay, let's hear the voice cover. This does not sound familiar at all. No, I got nothing here, bud. This is... Get me a clue. It's not finished until it's finished. It's not Miku or Animal Crossing. It's a vocal cover, so you can't hear what the words are, you dinguses. It's just playing an audio-tuned version of it. You guys can't put context together to figure out that's what they're doing? Come on.
Okay. Lebanon bologna. American, one slice of American yellow, one slice of aged white cheddar, one slice of pepper jack, and despite that, there's already also yellow mustard and jalapenos. Why did the stream end?
You're playing another game now. Okay, Mako, go on. Talk about your sandwich real quick.
And despite the fact that there are 3 slices of cheese on this sandwich, I also had to gobble up 2 slices from the packaging just raw because I could not fucking resist. I meant to do one and then I needed another one. I don't know what's wrong with me. This is my 2nd glass of milk today. I can't stop consuming dairy. Please help me.
Okay, Mako, we're playing Bandle right now because the chat forced me to. We need to guess the song played by the band. This one's apparently easy. It released in 1991, and its YouTube views are 95 million. So here's the drum and bass of it. Do you know what it is?
Familiar.
Is that,
Give me the rest.
Okay, here's the electric guitar. Anything yet?
No.
Okay, the synth. Anything?
No.
Strings.
This isn't gonna. The strings aren't gonna help. Wait! Oh, damn it, I know it.
Okay, voiceover and the backing vocals.
Oh my god, this is torturous. I know it, but I can't know it.
And the clue it gave at the end is it's not finished until it's finished.
Wait, no, is it, I would dream about you. Is that a line, or am I thinking of a different song?
So you don't got any guesses here? Because I got nothing either.
I don't know. Even if I know the song, I might not know the name of it.
Okay, we're just gonna skip. Reveal the answer. You sure you want to skip? Yeah, give it to us. The song was Lenny Kravitz, It Ain't Over Till It's Over.
I wouldn't have gotten that. Like, even though I know I've heard it before.
They got an easy one. They got an easy one. Mr. 7-Day Relation just in the past week and months.
Yeah, the strings actually were instantly what made me recognize it, even though I didn't think they would make a difference.
I gotta buy a song pack Oh. It's dumb. Anyways,
Oh my god!
let's get back to the game. Game.
I think Mako might be the calcium samurai.
Sorry, I was getting the stream set up for Mako. There you go. So yeah, while you were gone, I was sussing out what to do here. I figured out that we needed to point out the autopsy report versus the button removal, because I don't think they actually fought. Because if the vase and such was knocked down by Adrian, the only things that imply that there was a fight is the knife and the button removal. But we know that the cause of death was strangling, meaning that could have been completely irrelevant. It clearly states the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died.
And what does that mean?
Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it. Also, yeah, that's a good point. The victim's blood being on it, knowing that the knife wound is the only thing that would have caused blood. So, the button and knife are inherently related, but the knife is clearly a framing device. Why would Matt, on guard, if he committed the murder, use a thing that would frame himself?
Sorry, I was looking at Shek's message about the time signature. That's a lot more complicated than I thought it was. I was just hoping it was... I mean, if you just tap your beat to, like, your fingers to 3/4 time, it does kind of line up, but just not all the time.
The 7/4...
Like, it eventually loops back around.
The beginning to 026 is 7/4 and 13/8, switching back and forth, or 8-note basis consistency, 14/8 and 13/8, while 026 to 047 is 13/8 and 12/8, switching back and forth. Then the whole track loops. The 7/4, 14/8 is 3/3/3/5, and the 13/8 is 3/3/3/4, and the 12/8 is 3/3/3/3. In the 0 to 026 section, you would also probably just as accurately count the 7/4, 14/8 as 3/3/4/4, and the 13/8 as 3/3/4/3. I suppose it's ambiguous enough. I just think it's easier to think of the groupings as all really just being 3/3/3x, with the x being the only real thing that changes about the rhythm between alternating time signatures. That is complicated. I don't understand music.
I barely understand that.
I once talked about making a 13th, 7th song, and a friend of mine actually ended up making it. It was simple. I forgot what I didn't remember what it was called, but like I really liked the idea of a 13th, 7th song.
I will be honest with you, I don't know what the fuck the second number means. Like, I know 4/4 means it's 4 beats for like every time you would expect 4 beats. 3/4 means it's 3 beats where you would normally expect 4, but that's probably not how you're supposed to actually think about it.
I assume 3/4 means that there are 3 quarter notes per measure.
Oh. So 13/7 would mean there are
13th, 7th notes. Yes.
There's no such fucking thing as a 7th note, though. I don't...
You could divide numbers up as much as you want, Mako.
It would just be very, very stupid looking on sheet music.
Correct. Anyways. Would you mean that it was ripped off the costume when?
After the knife was stabbed into the victim.
Exactly, which means... Wait, Tiger says quarter notes are the ones on music sheet, right?
Yeah.
All the notes are the ones on music sheets, Tiger. That's how... That's what they are.
I'm taking a screenshot of that message and showing it to my friend, Tiger.
Numbers are very cuttable if you're precise enough. I mean, yeah. It is impossible this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle. Because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There is no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body.
Oh, order! What is the meaning?
Whiskey.
What is the meaning of this, right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change?
Everything! Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did it serve?
What purpose?
We now know that this button was not torn off during the fight, so the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it?
Mr. Wright, does this mean... Does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it?
To pin the crime on guard.
I don't fucking understand music theory, fuck you. You don't need to understand music theory to know that notes do indeed appear on sheet music.
There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There's no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course.
And the real murder is...
Your mother!
Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then?
Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point.
Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. Sorry, this trial's been going on for a while. I got a sandwich.
What if it's the killer? I actually don't know who it is.
I mean, given the situation, it's probably Adrian Andrews.
It's the Magatama.
Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you! You are Senor Krilla! What? Her glasses broke.
Order! 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 Mr. Wright!
Bourbon cream.
This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge?
Any evidence? All the evidence. All the evidence points to Miss Andrews.
I love the amount of times you have predicted exactly what he's going to say.
Yeah. Oh, how preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion on Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. How many pairs of glasses do you have? That's like the third time you've done that. Then, what about the button that was found in Matt's Hakama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he'd already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found the body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there's no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. Ah!
There goes another one.
The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap, which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews.
Hey, I see. What about the empty guitar case?
That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. It is a virgin killer!
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Good job, Mako. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. But we already proved that her fingerprints weren't on the case. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No,
But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found in the guitar case.
Again, fair, good argument.
And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time.
That's right.
That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. To avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glasses are made of ketchup wine. It's a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. And to top it all off, there's this photo. Photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe the Nickel Samurai is Mr. On Guard. It would have been much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please stop.
I'm just a little murderer, so why are you bullying me?
Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time.
Miss Andrews?
I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify at something if it can incriminate me.
Well, yes. You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews.
Your Fifth Amendment right is the right to refuse to testify against things that would be incriminating to yourself. For the record, that doesn't just necessarily mean that you did whatever the thing is. You could also do it to refuse to testify things that would admit you to doing other things. So, like, if you were if you were in an alley doing a drug deal, and out in the street you happen to witness a person get hit by a car, you are allowed to testify that you were in that alley, but you're not obligated to testify what you were doing in that alley because it would incriminate you. You never need to testify something that would make you a criminal.
The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination.
And for the record, the reason that right exists is not to prevent people from having to accuse themselves in crimes and whatnot. It's to protect people to be more likely to say the truth. Because if a person knows that they could say something without needing to worry about getting in trouble for it, they're more likely to not lie about the actual truth.
A witness is not justified that this might involve damage.
What? Pleading the Fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room...
Fuck. Hang on.
Adrian Andrews.
Yes?
Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood?
Is it bad that I'm a little turned on right now? Alright. Waffle House, a virgin killer is a style of outfit. It is typically a like dress or possibly sweater that has a very open back, despite how covering it is in the front.
And also no arms,
Yeah.
sleeves.
That's it. That's when Vendriska planted this idea into her head.
For some reason, I just suddenly remembered Princess eating the sandwich.
She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things look bad.
You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done.
Something I haven't done?
What's wrong, right? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless.
That doesn't seem true.
Like Lenoir, Von Karma being like, Adrian Andrews. Yes, mommy? I'm sorry. They would do that.
Pretty sure she's younger than her.
What was that?
Pretty sure she's younger than her, but still.
That's not part of that, Mako. Anyone can be a mommy or a daddy in a lewd context. It's unfortunate that there isn't like a non-binary equivalent, because it'd be kind of weird to be like parent, elder, legal guardian. What? Yes, Demi? No!
Everything you have proven is circumstantial.
Circumstantial?
Yes, circumstantial. You'll have to provide a single piece of definitive proof.
I accidentally made a mistake in the beverage I'm drinking.
What did you do?
So I decided
Proof
I
that
wanted...
Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mrs. Corrida.
I was a little thirsty, so I decided to give myself a little bit of a buzz while we're doing this, because it's always fun to be a little bit buzzed while doing this. And I decided I have my mint chocolate chip cream whiskey, and I have my mango habanero whiskey, so why don't I just have both of them mixed together a little bit to see what that's like? And then I'm reminded, oh yeah, that's capsaicin, menthol, and alcohol put together. That sure is every sensation a person could have in their mouth.
I just had some capsaicin.
Did you read this?
Yeah.
Dude, chili
Miss
chocolate's
Andrews.
pretty good, though.
Did you want to kill Mr. Corrida?
I believe this may lead me to incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering.
A little suspicious.
But, Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think?
Maybe so, or maybe not. There is nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No, she's taking that defiant attitude again! Mia, where did we go?
Somehow, you landed in the worst possible situation.
I didn't know people could have been doing this the entire time! You're telling me anyone, as soon as I start pitting them, could just decide to stop talking? That ruins my entire job!
I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify.
Chev says, no, the worst possible situation would your client be your client being guilty. Like, yeah, there's, like, We've gotten really lucky that our clients have never been guilty, but one of these days...
In the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid, definitive proof.
But that's not true!
In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do, and that is to declare a recess.
Recess?
I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial...
Dun dun dun! We can't wait till tomorrow! Tomorrow? We don't have a tomorrow! If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial... Please continue the trial!
What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he?
You make it sound like they do they go right to the chair from the courtroom? Like, what the fuck?
Edgeworth's entire, like, he seems way more against us this time than he was earlier. I swear to God, Francisca is like wearing an Edgeworth skin suit right now.
That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya...
But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify.
This is a dystopian society where all crimes equal the death penalty. As far as we know, but assault's not a crime anymore, so, you know, there's ups and downs.
Now then, this court is...
It is not impossible for this trial to continue.
Like, he is our rival, he is against us during it, and he's gonna be sassy, but I do think he, like us, knows that if we're onto something and he knows, he's gotta play in our court. He can figure this shit out. He's got a heart of gold. And a tongue of silver.
Edgeworth, what are you...
Kidneys of palladium.
It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation was something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony.
Very true, Edgeworth!
Yes, that is very true, but...
Actually, there is one little thing that I'm curious about. Miss Andrews.
Okay, so I want to figure out what he's about to ask. Okay, let's see. We cannot ask about the actual, like, things that would incriminate her. Like, did she have
Probably
a
something about
motive?
the suicide note, I'd imagine.
The suicide note is possible, but I feel like that the issue would be relevance to the trial. So it needs to be something that is both relevant and non-incriminatory. Maybe asking if she knows what Juan was going to confess to.
When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice.
Yes, and?
I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Yeah, I've been wondering that the whole time as well. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice.
So my actions were unusual, but I've already...
Before you speak, I want to state that you have a reason behind your actions. I would like you to testify to that effect.
Testify?
Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again.
But it's not related to the actual murder, just asking, why'd you get yourself a glass of juice?
As to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness.
I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him.
That's fair. He's a bit back and forth, but I definitely think he is on our side, but he might be a little upset at us for the way we have been. Because we've been also kind of acting weird. Like, he asked around and everybody was like...
right back.
Oh,
I gotta be
okay.
right back 1 minute, hang on.
Take your time. Take your slime. Ah! God, that tastes terrible. Ah! Mmm. 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 As stated, a mixture of mint chocolate chip cream whiskey and mango habanero whiskey into a terrible mixture of capsaicin, menthol, sweet, and alcohol, and it is unpleasant in every regard. Okay, we're gonna play Semantle. Semantle's a fun one. You have to guess a word, but based on how close it is to another word conceptually. So let's try, whiskey. Egg. Round. Orb. Moment. Okay, round, set. Okay. Place. Set. Put. Set, instance. Okay. Like. Round and set got a bit closer. Game? Encounter. Lift? Motion. Okay,
sorry about that.
Collection's gonna be cold. Set is closest because it's not like that. We're playing Semantle. Give me a minute. New. New is getting closer as well. Pristine. Information. Informed. Okay, informed is closer than information. New, newly. New is close, but newly isn't. Set is a lot closer. So new and set got close to this word. New, set.
But it's also related to round?
Round was related to it. I can give you a little screen share for you. A little bit of a...
I can just... whatever.
Okay. So. New, set, old.
Well,
Old's cold.
the closest thing you have is egg, right? What, whiskey?
No, those things are far away. The left
What is
number is
the
the number...
numbers?
That is the number I guessed at. It was my first guess, my
Oh.
second guess, etc. The similarity is how close it is by, like, relative amounts, and proximity is how close it is to the actual word when listed up. they're basically both used for relatively the same thing, but they're, you know, okay, new, something that is like new. Let's go with default. That's cold. New, fresh. No, fresh is colder than new. Brand. Because brand normally goes with the word new. Word associated with new and set. Television. Nope, that's cold. Is it an adjective? Red. Blue.
What about news?
News is cold.
It's kind of close, actually. Oh wait, no. What is the difference between similarity and proximity?
Okay. The nearest
FAQ.
I don't know. Okay, the adjective is a single word spelling, unlike other words against not with spelling, blah, blah. In word to vec, each word has a measurable semantic distance from another, indicating what level of relatedness. Once you get within 1,000 words, as a word will tell you the proximity column. Okay, so yeah, this is the similarity to it, like, as an actual hard value. This is just giving you the number away it is. So, like, the nearest word to the word we're looking for is only 67.88. So the next closest word to it in meaning is only 67.88 close to that meaning. But it would be number 2 under proximity. Okay. We are playing Semantle because Mako is on BRB and I want to get what this word is. Okay, so new. Think another adjective. Grand. Good. Bad. Rough. Smooth. Independent. Okay, we're getting further away. New. Like. Likely. Likely got 990. I got the.
How is that related to set and new?
Because they're used in sentences that would be related to each other. Okay. Unlikely? Okay, likely.
I really don't get this.
Probably. Probable. Likely.
Probable.
I already did probable.
Probable. Did you?
Yeah, 855. Why are you about to call the police plague? I'm gaming right now. Likely. Certainly. Certainty. Probable, what's another word for likely? Come on, brain, think. Expectedly?
Expected.
Yes! We did it! I'm the great, I'm the winner, I won. 42 guesses. Hell yeah. I can't believe I got the 999 word almost randomly.
9 in the morning again.
Okay, let's get back to our game. Yame.
Have you talked to the airport, Plague? Is he friend or foe? I just don't know.
Tastes so bad. Okay.
What acknowledges the prosecution's request? Miss Andrews, if you please.
When I found the body... Glass of juice. I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over.
So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? Why do none of these fucking witnesses ever stay consistent?
I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial.
Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left.
I know! Edgeworth. What the heck is going on in that brain of yours?
Alan, Mr. 8, you may begin your cross-examination.
Well, Plague, you would have seen if a plane had crashed, so either it's fine or they went into a time storm and got sent to the year 45.
Sometimes weather, maybe a holdover at another stop. There's a lot of things that could cause a plane to be late. But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there's a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you just wait a little longer for it to be revealed to you?
In other words, right? Be quiet and listen.
Precisely. I couldn't have said it better myself. So, it was a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Senor Corridawa?
I understand your frustrations at not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence.
Grr.
And then, what did you see next, witness?
Slumped over. Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. Is it just me or did that right there sound a little odd? Yeah.
He sleeps like that.
No. If we're going into the logic that all of the things occurred prior to her coming into this room, would she not notice the knife in his chest? The thing she's claiming she had no involvement in. Then what did cross your mind? Thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix. And then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap in a chair and not his bed. Anyway, that's what I thought.
I see. So you didn't think he was dead at all.
You thought he fainted? I thought he was asleep at first. But then the room was in such a messy state. Thought maybe he had gone into a fight with someone.
And that's when you went to pour the glass of juice?
Yes. He always has a hard time waking up.
After that, what happened next?
I blanked out for a second.
This is what it all comes down to.
1 second, I need to look at what was just stated.
Yeah, did you just like skip
Yeah, I
the
just
dialogue
skipped
without-
over. I didn't actually press it. Huh?
This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now is our best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case.
Isn't that a bit harsh? Miss Andrews, will you tell me the truth this time? Okay, so I did that one, did that one, did that one. Did I do this one? I thought he fainted? I thought he was asleep at first, when this was said, I thought he got in a fight. Yeah, we already said this one. And then press this one. And how did you come to realize that he was, in fact, dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backward.
It knocked the flower vase over, so that's what happened.
Yes,
This is what it all comes down to.
we've already talked about this one. Yeah, because that's just the end loop. Okay, let's think.
So yeah, the knife. She saw him like slumped over, didn't think he was dead, but that's weird because there was a knife in him, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that it? So I'd say send the knife on the line where it says she thought he was sleeping. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the body photo. You look at that and tell me he was sleeping.
Yeah.
So, you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. I also have really bad eyesight. I keep going through glasses.
Yeah, mine had exploded at the time.
Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body.
What is the meaning of this?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Senor's chest. Anyone who saw the scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. That's, well, you see? Not a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who had fainted. Then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink.
Your point is...
Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. Actually, I think that it was, at least in some ways, true. The knife wasn't in him when she got there. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly. That you are the real killer. No!
All I heard was the first half second of that.
It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Madengard, is not guilty after all.
That's impossible. You're wrong.
Miss Andrews, try to have some composure.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt! I swear it! He's the one that killed Juan! But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because...
Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance.
I think we might be about to accuse someone who didn't do that crime.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting that feeling.
What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you?
I refuse to testify.
And there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Mattengard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated.
Is it over? No, Phoenix. No, Phoenix. We ain't done yet. You can't make a fourth trial this easy, Phoenix. Have we found the truth at last?
What's wrong, Phoenix?
Like, the whole serial killer plotline, Mia, mostly, like, I feel like that part might be relevant. I feel like we have a lot of evidence we haven't brought up, including the whole suicide thing. Like, that's just in our inventory, and I feel like it's probably... I mean, we did promise her we wouldn't bring it up, but it might be relevant to that. Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. Like, they kind of, like, go crazy or throw a toupee, scream, like, at the top of their lungs for several, like, minutes. They, they just do a lot of fucked shit. They normally don't, like, continue denying until the very end. Now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't.
Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Mattengard.
Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time.
What?
The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth.
The absolute real truth? What are you?
Witness, don't you understand yet?
Why does she have a serial killer card? Huh?
I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head. But as long as you protect yourself through your silence...
You know exactly who planted this silly idea in our head, Edgeworth.
Mattengard will go free, and in his place... you will become the guilty party.
That's a lie. I don't believe you.
Bitch. What?
I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. But what in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared.
It's Francisco von Karma.
Huh?
Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself.
But then, right now, Miss Andrews is...
Yesterday, she was taught the lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word no matter what happens. If you do, Mattengard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them.
And what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. An anxiety disorder! Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you, please believe me. I didn't kill Juan! Help, please! Someone help me!
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor?
the court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do.
What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say?
Right. I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do.
She went into the room. She took the costume, obviously. She planted evidence to her own benefit. And she framed On Guard for murder. What we cannot prove in any of those cases is that she's the one who actually did it. All we know is that she wanted to get Matt in trouble for something. But she did not... We have no proof that she actually killed them. If she wanted to get Matt, like, framed for something, then why wouldn't she have just let Juan go through with the plan of the confession? Why would she be motivated to kill Juan just to frame Matt a second time?
And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime.
Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else could be except the woman crying over there. Except that sad crying woman who has a dependency issue and requires everyone else to tell her what to do and give her her value as a person. That person definitely came up with a murder plot. Wait.
Come now. What will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
I'm gonna go with a not guilty verdict, please. Send her to the gulag. Force Andrews to testify, come on. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But... I can't bring myself to do it like this. Now she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews! I would like to know what you are really hiding.
Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Sure, Mr. On Guard would get an acquittal, but in his place, you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me.
That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth.
You're wrong.
What a shame. I'd hoped things wouldn't come to this, however.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court.
Since we promised, and she's not gonna say anything, so I guess Edgeworth's gotta reveal some shit. Just stop.
Mr. Edgeworth?
What are you talking about? Help with what, Shep? This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness.
That only cowbell will... What?
Because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past.
Stop! Please stop!
Oh, I just kind of skimmed it, Shaq. I didn't really look at it. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here.
That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report.
What will you do now, witness? You know what I am about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews.
The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please please stop! I beg you! If people find out,
If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me.
Cold,
based.
Edgeworth, yeah.
No,
Look,
seriously, like, people who are like, if you do this, I'll kill myself. It's like, fucking, that's not my problem.
you can do it after the
This shit's
trial's
gotta be
over.
And also, people who do that are usually kind of manipulative.
Yeah. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold?
Your
Easily.
skill issue.
Your honor L
However-
plus ratio.
Before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips.
So cool.
No matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself or shall I? Either is fine with me.
I'll talk. Please, help me. Nothing matters anymore.
I'm so glad I got to be Edgeworth.
My crime. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Honest. When I realized he was dead, that's when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. That's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume.
Stab the body with the knife? But why would you do that?
To frame Matt, he's a dumb cunt. Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man.
Ugh. What do you mean by all of this?
Might take this court a little while to understand, but...
Oh, I'm thinking. Juan Corrida took the suicide note, but the suicide note was going to ruin Matt, not Juan. And during the confession meeting, he was going to reveal Matt Engarde's involvement in Celeste Impact's suicide and probably ruin his career. Engarde or somebody else kills Juan, and fucking Adrian Andrews here comes in, finds the body, also aware of the truth of the matter of like the Engarde being involved in the suicide, and decides, I'm going to frame Matt for this, and so does everything she can to fuck him over. There's a solid chance Matt was not involved here. Or the even funnier bit, Matt is actually the killer, which I find is a very funny concept. But, It would be funny if we do this huge roundabout thing just to come back around to, no, actually, Engarde did actually kill them.
I doubt it's gonna be that, though.
I know, but it'd be
Otherwise,
funny.
what happened to my, like, it obvious, like, is it or is it not the killer? Like, it kind of has to be, but also that's so fucking stupid. That's his name.
Sometimes people just have bad names.
This is the truth.
The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. Yeah, that's... Okay, yeah, that is a solid chance that... Oh my goodness. I think... Is
Shaq,
that...
you're taking it too personally if you think it's scorn. I didn't care about the video.
Mako, I think you might be onto something here.
People send me shit that I do not care about so much, and I don't. If I don't respond to something, it's because I'm not concerned with it. Also, what did I say? That's right.
I think it might be The Killer for the dumbest reason. So, the killer is presumably a serial killer, right? They leave calling cards, they do that kind of stuff. But obviously, a serial killer, as much as they want to not get caught, they want to be known. That's always the thing serial killers want. They want to be recognized for what they do. And so the serial killer goes in and kills Juan and leaves a calling card in for Adrian or such ever to be like, yeah, there we go. Now they'll know for certain it was me. Only for Adrian to be like, I'm gonna fake this murder on another person and like really fuck things up and make these, and then she just takes the card because she's like, oh, like free card. I guess this is mine now. And she's been, like, fiddling with it. And so the police don't know that she has this card, and so the police have no way of knowing this is clearly the serial killer's work. They have no way to piece it, so no one's gonna know it's the serial killer. That's why the serial killer will be like, hey, can you prove this person innocent? Otherwise, no one's gonna know how cool of a serial killer I am.
Maybe.
If that's the truth, that'd be really funny. They accidentally foil a serial killer's, like, plans because they're too caught up in their own drama. Last time...
So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Carita, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. And this is her crime.
What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer?
Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination.
My crime. But you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. You telling him the truth, or you say you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. But that scarf is part of the Jam Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up, and went to pour the juice. What is this plan you have? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because Juan... he was going to expose Matt's weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. Because, like, that would explain why there was just a serial killer there. Like, the killer just happened to be there and do this and like he probably was completely unrelated. There's this huge, complicated plot, and the serial killer just happened to commit a murder at the time and everything got confused from there. It'd be really funny. Everyone's looking for, like, a clear motive, but it's just the killer's just like, I'm a serial killer. I just did it because he was there.
So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button.
The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. Like, there's just so many people all looking for motive when the motive might be the simplest thing in the world. That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used it at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. Slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. Turned on a fan. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped the button off. So you were the one who stabbed the victim with a knife. Gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. Moved on its own. Then, I stabbed Juan's dead body. I suddenly realized something. If I used the bun somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect.
So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Ungod's Hakama.
Yes, that's what I planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? An inconvenience? There's a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lana. There's also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Oldbag for you. I'd already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once. But I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. You were the one who prepped that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony.
You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct?
Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there.
And what is this secret?
That... I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I also did not want anyone to know about the costume.
I think we've heard enough. So, after that, you went back to Mr. Ungard's room and planted the button.
To Matt's comma? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it.
My word, what does all this mean?
Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt Ungard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She said that I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words.
What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer.
Wait, Your Honor! The defense still...
Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything.
Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright.
But...
Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning.
Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately.
That is all. Court is adjourned for today.
Objection! The reverb.
Oh,
What?
he's just gone. He ain't even on the stand anymore.
They all disappeared. New sprite.
Phoenix is like, wait a second. I forgot what I was supposed to be doing here.
Today's trial. It's over. I didn't win an acquittal.
Witness, would you mind if I asked you something?
Edgeworth? What is it?
Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it?
Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright, I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room?
that day.
She took the serial killer's calling card. It was in the room with the victim and she just walked away with it.
You just completely cut out.
She out of everything to remove from the crime scene, she took the serial killer's calling card. What a
Yeah.
Am I fucking right? Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was just lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body. I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? You dumb piece of shit! You stupid Samus Aran cosplay! Yeah, I guess not, but it's still a strange card if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why.
Witness! That card! Give it to me! Hurry!
Edgeworth?
Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done?
Yeah!
This... I can't believe you hid this from me all this time!
Look, I'm just stupid. Like, it happens. You're really not helping my insecurity here. I didn't mean to.
What is this all about?
I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card. What in the world is it? And what does it mean? Oof.
I like this case.
So, it's been 3 hours.
Part of me wants to keep going, but I don't know how long it's gonna be. I mean, I could go either way. What do you want?
I don't... If anybody knows how long this trial tends to go for, keeping in mind how much I flounder and flabbergast, how much longer do you think this is gonna go for?
Yeah, like, is it gonna be about the same amount of time?
We have
as
another
what we just did,
investigation
or-
phase, apparently.
Okay, that's not happening then.
Okay, in that case, you won't finish it. Okay, we'll probably just end there then. In that case, I'm right about everything always, and I'm the best investigator at all things constantly. I'm really enjoying this one. Like, it started out already pretty it felt like there was not as much going on, but as it gets more and more peeled away, I can see where all of the confounding nonsense is coming from. I'm looking forward to it. This shit funny as hell, yeah.
The fact that she was just twirling it around the entire time in the courtroom.
Out of everything to take from a crime scene, you take the serial killer's calling card. How? Justice for All is considered the weakest of the trilogy, but goddamn does the final case make up for it. Let me think. The first game is phenomenal. There are so many good trials in that one. The second one, let's see so far. The first one's a tutorial and doesn't count. The third case, I like the Big Top one because I love how fucking insane the series of unlikely circumstances need to occur for the outcome to be what it was. And the second trial was the Maya Pearl one, which I thought was alright. Like, it wasn't groundbreaking, but I did enjoy it. Yeah, I liked that one. It wasn't, like... Yeah, Big Top was good. This one is very good so far. Can't wait to see it get more insane. The second one was solid, and the first one, I think it was a fun first trial. The amnesia was a fun way to do it. But yeah, my internet seems to be dying a little bit. Anyways, in that case, I should probably end soon.
Just in
Then.
time.
Yep. Today's most loved viewer is gonna go to. Ooh.
I'm looking forward to Von Karma inevitably showing up again, so we can like get a proper final boss battle against her.
Yeah, I mean, she'll come in with a bullet wound tomorrow. Today, this most loved is gonna go to, let's go check for giving that long list of, time signature information. That says, I believe Big Top is considered one of the worst cases in the series. Oh my fucking god. Like, yes, everybody understands that it's weird that they're hitting on the girl that's 16 who was a normal age to be hit on at that time. Not normal, but like, it was a legal thing to be hit on at that time in the setting that this game was made in. Everybody understands that it's a little weird, but conflating that to mean the entire case is bad is dumb as hell.
It's just like an annoying thing that keeps happening through the case, and it's hard to ignore, but like, the case itself, I did like.
Yeah, like, you appreciate art for its merits, not for its flaws. Like, that's how you're supposed to enjoy things. I enjoy that.
Well, the flaws detract from the merits.
Well, yes, but people act as if that one flaw, downgraded every single thing that trial had. And I loved how insane it was. Like, I guess, yeah, people dislike that it was basically random chance that occurred at the end there. Like, yeah, that happens. It was funny, and I found that really wild. Ben and Trillo were hilarious, and I loved voicing them. It's so annoying they were removed from the anime? What? Fucked up!
I didn't even know there was an anime.
Oh yeah, there's an anime of this, of Phoenix Wright. But yeah, yeah, sure, it was a circus. Some people are not gonna like that, I guess, but like, it was a very fun trial, in my opinion. I loved solving all of the bullshit and figuring out how inane the outcome was. Like, shit happens, man. That is the trial of sometimes shit happens. Anyways, thank you all for coming this evening. Look forward to more of this next time we do it, which probably Wednesday, maybe Monday, we'll see. Depends on if I decide to do a Mario.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's Mario Monday, isn't it?
Very well. Mario Monday, and then Right Wednesday, and then Phoenix Friday. Unless something else randomly comes up. I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully. For art. If not, Blart. But yeah. We'll figure it out as we go along.
And I'll do Tuesday, probably RimWorld or something at 3 p.m.
Yep. I will talk to you all next time. Good
night.
Corrida.